Hi everybody, Alan here from Pipe9. What I'm going to do in this video is introduce you to perspectives in SkillMe. Perspectives is the process that we go through to complete our view of where we feel like we are in our development journey towards mastering the important skills associated with our role. And these skills are on our skills board in SkillMe. They form part of what we refer to as a skills profile. We create skill profiles. Skills profiles get served up as skills boards for individuals and team members in SkillMe. And then what we do to enable our skills board is we complete our perspectives based upon where we are in terms of our journey towards mastering each one of these skills. And the way this works in SkillMe is as follows. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my desktop. And I'm just going to go into SkillMe here, and here I am. I'm in SkillMe. I've already gone into perspectives. I've gone into the menu view at the top left-hand part of the screen here called perspectives. And you'll notice when you come into perspectives for the first time, most of these, in fact, all of the skill tiles will be white. I've already started to go through the process of completing my perspectives for some of these skills. And you can see already some colors have been assigned to these skills. Colors actually start to guide you in terms of where you should be prioritizing your skill development through the next period. And I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm going to pick up where I left off here. I'm going to go into skill number 4. It's called sales planning with my V team. My V team. So this would be, other stakeholders that are involved in accounts that I'm managing from across the company, part of my V team. And this skill is about how I orchestrate and collaborate with the V team, and I plan with them. So what happens here is that we enable you to answer what we think is the 3 most important questions that help to guide you in terms of where you are in mastering this sales planning with a V team skill. Where are you? First question is, how important is this skill to you? How important is sales planning with the V team going to be through this next skilling period? Which could be through the next quarter, it could be from your next Connect discussion with your manager through to the following one. Through this period, how important is sales planning going to be to you? Perhaps in this next period, you've already done planning, everything's been set, so it's not going to be that important to you. Or maybe you're at the beginning of the year where planning perhaps is more important, and it's going to be absolutely critical to you. So for this particular skill, based upon where you are, is it going to be not important? Is it going to be emerging important? It's going to be a new skill for you to start to consider because it's going to have impacts in this period important, or is it going to be absolutely critical to you? And because we're at the beginning of the year, I'm going to say this skill is absolutely critical. Now, frequency. What's my frequency associated with executing the methods, the principles, the practices that enable me to master this skill? To execute those principles, those practices, those kind of collaborative type of methods that I know that I need to implement to be successful with planning with the V team. Do I implement those never, sometimes, often, or always? Am I always executing those methods, those practices associated with doing great sales planning with the V team? Now, my view is that developing a growth mindset lives in the frequency space. It lives in the frequency space. Because developing a growth mindset, in my mind, it's my perspective here, is all about, trialing new things. It's about learning from the things that you're trying. This is how we grow. We try, we learn, we grow, we try, we learn, we grow. And so we're constantly going through this process of applying the methods, the practices. We're learning from those things that we're applying. And perhaps we, based on things that we're learning, we then start to kind of re-engineer things. We scope things. We come back and we try again, putting into practice the things that we have learned, the best practice we've learned. And this is how we grow. This is how we grow. And we're always doing this. Our frequency is always on for this, always. So in this case, what is my level of frequency associated with executing the principles of practice, the methods associated with great sales planning? I'm going to say I often do. My proficiency level, now what's proficiency? Proficiency is the knowledge. You know, do you have the knowledge associated with great sales planning? Are you certified? Are you accredited? Do people reach out to you and ask you to model the methods associated with great sales planning with a V team? People reach out to you and ask you to become a mentor for them. Are you an expert? Or are you just really starting out? You know, you just have the foundational knowledge, foundational, intermediate, or are you an expert? And I'm going to say I have the intermediate knowledge. And you'll notice a little color gets added to this skill. And I'll talk about what the colors mean in a second. But essentially what you're doing is you're going through the process of completing these three questions: importance, frequency, and proficiency for each and every skill. This is how we complete our perspectives for these important skills that make up our skills profile. Now, it takes two to tango here. In order to master a skill, the frequency level needs to be at the highest and our proficiency levels need to be at the highest. It takes two to tango in order for us to master a skill. Now, when we've completed our perspectives for each and every skill on our skills board, if I come back to my skills board, is going to look something like our skills board is going to look something like this. It's going to look, bear with me. It's going to look something. Let's just go to the one that I completed just before the session started. It's going to look something like this. I'm just going to go to my skills board here. And the skills board is going to look like this. I've completed my perspective, each and every skill. Now, colors start to guide me. Colors start to guide me because colors tell you the story of where you are in your skills development journey, your journey towards mastering each and every skill. Red skills, based upon your perspective, red skills are skills that you should stop focusing on. Through this next period, these skills are not going to be important to you. It doesn't say they might not come back round again in the future and become more important, but right now through this next period, red skills are skills that are just not going to be important to you. Amber skills are the new skills. You know, growth mindset talent, one of the growth mindset talents, willingness to learn new things. What are these new things? These are the amber skills. These are skills that will become more important through this next period. And so you should invest some of your valuable skilling time in these amber skills, but it's not going to be your focus for your skill development. Your focus is going to be on these green skills and the green skills. Why are the green skills most important? Because the proficiency gap, the frequency gap between where you currently are on mastering these skills, being at the highest level, is at the greatest. The gap is at its greatest with green skills. And so this is why green skills are the skills that we recommend that you prioritize through this next skill development period. Violet skills are the skills that you're very close to mastering. It's that final sprint to the finish line. You've mastered the skill. When you master the skill in the Skill Me application, you go purple with that skill. You're doing your best work. Your proficiency levels are at the highest. Your frequency levels are at the highest. You've mastered the skill. And you are then ready to do something really important. Because then what you're ready to do is to model these skills for others across your community, other team members, other peers across the community. And what happens in the background of the Skill Me application is that we recognize people who have mastered skills and we bring those people together. We make these connections between people who have mastered the skill and people who, for them, this is a skill they're looking to develop. We bring purple and green together. We bring purple and amber together. We accelerate making these connections. And we know that if we can accelerate making these important connections across the community, and we can do this at scale, we can accelerate skill development for the community overall. And if we can do this, we know that we can have an impact upon the performance of the business. And this is why we do this. This is why we go through the process of completing our perspectives. All right, well, thank you very much for joining this video. In the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus in on how your managers can contribute, how you've gone through your perspective process and how your managers can actually contribute, and how we bring kind of the manager view of perspectives and the team members' view of perspectives together. So look out for that in our next video. And thank you very much for joining me for this video, which was a stepping through the process of completing your perspectives in SkillMe. Thank you.